Great Scott, Amber Simpson. This is another episode of Will There Be Cake? I'm Robert Lamb. That's Amber Simpson. I already said
my
it.
name's not Scott, though.
Not Scott, but Great Scott. I can't wait to talk about this special day we're about to celebrate. But before we get to that, we got to introduce our guests.
We have to.
Adam Ivan's back.
Hey!
Welcome back.
Guys.
Great Scott.
Yeah, now we're going to learn about the power of love in this movie that Amber's about to describe.
Where we're going, we don't need
roads,
cars.
or podcasts. No, we do need them.
We do need
Yeah, microphones.
It's a love story about a man and his mom.
And well, yeah. It's a little creepy.
Today is Back to the Future Day.
Bum, bum, bum. 88 miles per hour. I don't know.
Do you guys know why Back to the Future Day is on October 21st? Trivia question.
Is that the day that he goes back?
Yeah.
I was like,
Is that the day that he goes back to the future?
No, it's back to the past.
Past, yeah.
Then he goes back to the future.
And then he goes to the future.
Probably a few days later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. How long did it take for his mom to fall in love with him? Only like a day. One car accident.
Mom was easy.
Yeah. Calvin Klein.
But that happened in the second one, right? Part 2.
Which one?
Back to the Future.
No. Oh, what? Yeah, he went to the future in the second one.
But the whole part of the first one, the point is he's trying to get back to the future.
Yeah.
Because he goes back to the past and he's trying to get back to...
But the October 21st part specifically happens
probably
in
when
the
he goes
second.
back.
Yeah. It's the start of the second.
No,
That's
the
the day.
first
That's
one.
the day because that's the day that he left.
Yeah.
That he left 1985. So
Yeah.
he leaves 1985 to go into 1955
55.
on October 21st.
Okay.
But then when he heads back to 1985, it's still October 21st, and then when they go to the future, it's still October 21st. I don't know.
I don't know about the
I'm going
future.
cross-eyed just thinking about it.
Yeah. When does he... It's 2015, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it is the same day.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe because at the very end of the first one, he shows up with the DeLorean and was like, "Where we're going, we don't need roads." So was that the same day though?
I think it's just Marty is always trying to get back to October 21st, 1985, and not have shit worse than when he left.
When he left it, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That sweet Toyota and
Yeah. Yeah.
Biff cleaning it.
Yeah.
Biff cleaning it.
Biff by his father, who was not Crispin Glover at that time.
He's still bitter about that.
Yeah. We'll get into that stuff in a little bit. So this day was supposed to be the 21st because he goes back.
Yeah. That's
That
the
day.
day.
That's the day.
That's the day that he goes back.
But who made it a
4:29
holiday?
p.m.
People? Just because of that? Kind of like the Mean Girls thing?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that makes sense.
The first one was celebrated in 2011.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And that
that's
year,
around time.
Nike auctioned off 1,500 pairs of limited edition mag replica shoes, and the proceeds went to Michael J. Fox's foundation for his Parkinson's disease.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then again in 2015, they had a Back to the Future Day celebrations all over, and all the proceeds that they raised from that also went to his foundation.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Our mutual friend, Kyle, this is his favorite movie.
Is it?
Yeah. And I was talking to him about it the other day at there's a birthday party, and I went to it, and we were talking about movies, and he said that he still likes Back to the Future. That's his favorite movie just because he grew up with it. He's watched it a bunch of times. He said, but he did watch the other two recently again. And he's like, I think that's just nostalgia. They don't really hold up. He said they're just kind of not as great as he once thought. And I was like, the second one's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's not bad. And I was surprised to actually see the third one had better reviews on Rotten Tomatoes
Does it really?
than the second
Holy
one.
shit.
Yeah.
They're kind of a mess. I think they're both still good. They hold up with it.
They're goofy, but they're they're not as good as the first one, obviously, but they're still they're okay.
Yeah.
I think the longer you drag out a time travel story, the more confusing and the more it can contradict itself.
Right.
It's hard to keep track of so much of that.
I actually like the second one better than the third one, but I do know some people like the third one better. I don't know.
I don't even remember the third one. What happens in the third one?
That was the Wild West one. He
Oh,
goes back.
yeah.
I just watched it like a month and a half ago. It moves fast. It doesn't. They kind of mess up the story. Is what I read like years later. It's like they kind of changed the story big time in the third one.
Oh, really?
Because I think they were running because they filmed them both at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like the first movie to have like they filmed the two sequels.
Oh, wow. Back to back.
Back to back, and I think they came out. They kind of did like the same thing that when the Matrix 2 and 3 came out. It was like one came out in December and the other one came out in May, or it might have been like reversed, but they all came out within like a year of each other.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, I watched them all. For some reason, I just never really cared for the third one that much.
The first one grossed $400 million worldwide.
Yeah. It is a big movie.
It's a big movie. Is it one of your favorites? Is it in your top?
It's not in my top 10, but it'd be in my top movies though.
I put it in my top 25 probably.
Yeah.
Faux show. It's
It's
fun.
in my top 50 for sure. I don't know where, but somewhere.
I own a little fake hoverboard from it.
Damn.
Yeah, not like a life-size one, but like a little baby-size one.
Everybody will
Like
like
a skate
those things.
deck
When the
size.
second, oh really? when the second one came out, that was like the big thing, like the hoverboards.
Yep.
They look so cool.
They look so cool. I have a friend who it's all his favorite movie as well, and he has like every pop figure from it, and he has like a life-sized fake hoverboard. And
see, the thing with the movie is
collector.
it's very like family friendly. It's very like Zemeckis style, his kind of styles on it, where it's just like a old fashioned like family friendly movie, but it's like good. It's got a good story and everything,
Right.
But it's just like the bully getting defeated,
Exactly.
like that kind of story, plus like friendships and like all that kind of stuff. So it's.
But it's different because it had time travel.
Well, movies had time travel before that.
And visions of things that exist today.
I mean, the whole like disappearing, like the picture and stuff, like
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. Like some of the time elements that they, and it's like quirky, funny with the fact that like he replaces his dad, and then that starts causing like this whole rift, and he's got to like fix things between his mom and his dad, like, and then he plays Chuck Berry. Go, Johnny, go. Yeah.
So, fun fact, October 21st, 2015 is the day that the screenwriter Bob Gale chose for the Chicago Cubs to win the World Series, something that Gale said was the most absurd thing that he could think of in 1985. And then they ended up winning a year after he predicted in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
Against Miami, which in the movie they beat Miami, which was not a real team.
Yeah, that was a fake
Really?
team.
It did not become a team until
the-
about 7 or 8 years after.
Yeah, wasn't it like 90?
So he
93
just
or
made
so.
up a
92.
team that ended up being
Yeah,
real.
he
Yeah.
just assumed there would be there would
Miami
be a
team.
team in Miami eventually.
What was it called?
Miami Gators or something
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
It wasn't the Marlins, but
Right. That's still
Miami
funny.
Gators. Love it.
And they predicted Jaws 23 or whatever it was. I forget which Jaws movie it was in.
yeah.
It was like 3D.
There's like a Spielberg joke because when the hologram comes out and he goes, the shark still looks fake. And
Yeah,
it's
that's a joke for the...
that's a Spielberg thing
movie.
right there, yeah.
But Spielberg and Zemeckis have been friends for a while.
Well, Spielberg was the EP on
Back to the Future, yeah. It's
He-
like the
he took
same
out
thing
the
when he
funding.
did when Spielberg was for Jurassic World, where like Colin Trevorrow like sat with them and they he's like, what if we got like a great white shark and then the Mosasaurus comes out and eats the great white shark? He's like, come on, you get it? He's like, I get it. Yeah.
Zemeckis and Gale actually received a thank you letter from John DeLorean for using his car in the movie.
Nice.
Probably got him some sales there.
Yeah.
It's iconic because
Yep.
that car was a failure. That whole
Yeah,
company was a
exactly.
failure.
And when you
He's
think of
probably
it,
the
you
only
think of
reason
that
he
movie.
made.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
Most
When you
people,
see
when
one
mention it,
around,
yeah.
they're usually Back to the Future. Probably
Yeah.
always Back to the Future fans because nobody buys one just to have one.
What about you? Ever been on the Back to the Future ride? in
Yeah,
Universal?
that doesn't
they don't have it
exist
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
But
just- at
now
least
it's
they-
Simpsons. But he likes Simpsons.
least
No, I would have preferred them Back to the Future.
Really?
Like it just stayed Back to the Future.
That was
Yeah.
a better ride, I think.
I mean, it's the same motions,
Simpsons, so
but
yeah.
it's like the movie changed. They changed the movie, but it's really the same motions.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because if you sit on there, there's a part in Back to the Future where you get attacked by like the T-Rex and it eats you, and it starts like trying to like swallow you, and you like go into its mouth. That's the same sequence where like Maggie picks you up and starts sucking on you like a pacifier. So they use, I think, all the same motions, but they just changed the movie.
Just changed the theming and changed the movie.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah.
It's a weird
like
ride.
Universal.
It's like a huge IMAX screen, like just above you. Just
that's the thing, is they didn't change
it
the
up,
right.
and then you just like got the huge screen.
And if you look to the sides, you can see the other cars and stuff.
Oh yeah.
If you like lean over. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the Simpsons one. I just I miss the Back to the Future
Do
one.
they still have the car there? Because I know for a while they had the
They
car.
have the
right
car
outside.
and the train, I think, from Back to the Future 3.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The train.
Yeah.
That's cool.
True.
I think Back to the Future is still at Universal Japan.
Really?
Yeah, it might be.
Nice.
I think it's at one more. Yeah, one left. Because
I
they
wanna
have
go
what?
to
Japan and Thailand. Is it Thailand? No, Singapore.
Something. Yeah,
I think it's
South
Singapore.
Pacific, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I've watched like their rides for like the Universal ones.
yeah.
Like I'm like, this is interesting. Like their Jurassic Park ride is just like a river rapids
Really?
ride over there. Yeah, where you just go through and they have like a velociraptor standing on like a tree or something. You're like,
Oh no.
No, Back to the Future. I remember my dad showing me the movie when I was like a kid, and I didn't understand it, like the time aspect of it. And I remember my dad actually sitting me down. I had to be like 6 or something. I don't remember, or maybe even younger. And I remember him sitting me down. He's just like, okay, here. And he like drew a line. And he's like, this is where they are in time. Then he's like, they go back this way to 1955. And then he's trying to get back. And then I'm like, but what about the second one? He's like, the second one takes place in the future. He's like drawing this whole map.
Aw.
And I was like, all right, I think I get it.
That's a cute Back to the Future memory. Your dad describing time works. Time travel.
And then
just a bunch of red string
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. And then he's like, quick to the automobile.
Writing
and then we went in there.
equations.
And then my dad tried to speed up to 88 miles per hour and we crashed.
R.I.P. Dad.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad.
So I read that Universal Pictures executives didn't really like the name of it at first, Back to the Future. And one of the executives wrote a memo saying that he wanted to change the title of the movie to Spaceman from Pluto. And Spielberg...
Why?
I don't know. And Spielberg responded by thanking him for the joke memo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a weird...
So who knows
Has
if it
nothing
was
to do with that.
actually real or not, but...
It might have been a joke. I don't know. And
And-
that's where the Adventures of Pluto Nash comes from.
Well, Spaceman from Pluto is like the name of the book that George McFly is like was
Oh,
like reading
yeah.
when Marty shows up in
but that's
in the
weird to call
hazmat suit
that.
and then starts playing Eruption by
Oh, yeah.
Van Halen.
Van Halen, yeah. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Eddie.
President Reagan liked that he was mentioned so much in the movie that he used the quote, "Where we're going, we don't need cars," in his 1986 State of the Union speech.
Oh, wow. I had a friend, like, when I went to on my Africa trip, a lot of the tourists, like, we all like exchanged like information, like social media and stuff. So I follow a lot of them on like Facebook and stuff, but they're all like older people. And one of them shared a picture of Crispin Glover with Leah Thompson, and it says like, can we help this young couple who just got married find this photo or something like that before time runs out or something like that? And they shared that. And then I like posted on it and I said, "Great Scott, if it can be found, that'll truly be the power of love." And then somebody commented under that. It's like, yeah, like love is a powerful thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm joking. Because I don't think any of them realized it was Back to the Future joke.
That's hilarious.
It's like when like I saw somebody share the stupid picture of Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci from Home Alone talking about how these guys were robbing houses in the area.
Yeah.
Please report them if you see them. And somebody's like, these bastards need to be locked up in jail if they're really destroying Christmas like this. And I'm like, yeah. Bastards. The one bit Macaulay Culkin's finger too. Get him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
did you know Princess Diana was at the movie premiere in 1985?
Wow.
yeah, she was at the Jurassic Park premiere too.
Wow, she had good
Or I
taste
think
in
they
movies.
premiered. I think she just liked Spielberg.
Oh, that makes sense.
Maybe, I don't know. It was cool to see Jeff Goldblum dressed up in a tux, like greeting people and acting semi-normal.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, Back to the Future actually has a pretty good cast, though, too.
It does have a good cast.
Do you know who the original Marty was?
Yeah, do you know?
No.
It's Eric Stoltz.
Who's Eric Stoltz?
And they filmed that for a while.
Mask.
From Mask.
Oh.
And from,
Pulp
I would
Fiction.
say, well, even more than that, the first 10 minutes of Anaconda.
There you go.
Before he got
So,
the fly
from
in his
nothing.
throat.
From nothing.
Eric Stoltz, yeah, they filmed for like 6 weeks or something, and they're like,
what
nah, this
happened?
isn't going to
Oh,
work.
it
It's
just-
Yeah, it just wasn't good. He just wasn't, it didn't bring, like, I guess it wasn't funny
Marty
enough or,
McFly.
like, I don't know.
no presence,
Yeah,
no chemistry,
that's weird.
all the stuff you don't want out of a main actor.
Yeah.
But then Michael J. Fox came in and just rocked the shit out of it.
Rock the shit
I think
out
they
of
said they couldn't get it. They tried getting Michael J. Fox at first, and then something like he became available like a few weeks into production. They're like, okay, we're just gonna.
Did
Get
you
this
watch?
guy out of here.
Did you watch Stoltz, like some of his scenes
Yeah.
or whatever on
Yeah,
YouTube?
they're not
It's-
good.
Yeah, it's
They're
weird.
awkward.
They're awkward.
It's
But
like
he's-
played so straight, like so serious and like weird. I don't know.
It's just not sympathetic. It doesn't have that Michael J. Fox
He's just not
that
Michael J.
that charm.
Fox.
Yeah. That
Then-
Alex P. Keaton kind of charm.
Well, then you already started talking about like in the sequels, Crispin Glover is not in it.
yeah, so that is because I don't know why he didn't want to be in it, but like when they filmed it, they wanted his likeness, so they made a plaster cast and had a different actor put on basically like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre wear his face. So then Crispin Glover sued and said that they weren't allowed to use his likeness. And I don't remember if they settled and if he...
They did, and he won.
And he won,
he got
yeah.
money out of him because
Oh,
you
shit.
can't just like.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, unless he signs on for multiple movies or he like signs off on it, it's kind of weird to use his likeness and his actual face.
It's Crispin Glover. He's a little out there.
He is a little crazy. If you ever listen to any of his interviews,
I watch him when he's on acid or on something when he's
Yeah,
on
when
he's on Letterman. I think during the 80s.
yeah, I remember that.
Starts hyperventilating almost on the show. And
Oh my god.
He's such a weird guy, but he was still acting and stuff. He's still been in a lot of stuff. I don't know about recently, but I remember he was for
he
a decade or
pops
two.
up every once in a while.
yeah.
But he's still hanging in there. I mean, everybody else in the cast, like, who thought that like the guy that plays Biff,
Tom Wilkinson.
he'll show up every once in a while,
I think it's Tom Wilkinson, something Wilkinson.
something like that.
Yeah, he does that comedy song. You ever see that? He's like he does comedy, like stand-up comedy, but he has a song where he sings about being Biff on Back to the Future.
Really?
And he just talks about the annoying fans that come up to him, and a lot of it's just like, will you leave a message on my friend's answering machine calling him a butthead, and like, was that real manure? He's like, no, it wasn't. It's a movie. Like, just a bunch of stupid questions, but it's pretty funny if you look it up on YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
He still holds up. You can still do the like the whole set is on the back lot at Universal out in California. But
Yeah.
like half of it burned down like a
That
few
fire
years
or
ago.
whatever. Yeah.
But I think the courthouse is still there, but like the other half of it burned down. There's a couple of good like videos on YouTube of people who brought their camcorder when they went to Universal like in the late 80s, and you can see
Snuck
them like
back
doing
there.
the backlot tour while it's
While
all
it's
done up
filming.
for 1955.
Oh,
like
really?
the when he's in the 2015 like part of it, so
Oh wow,
it looks pretty crazy.
that's
Nice.
cool.
But they use that's like that set has been used on, so the courthouse is the same courthouse in
Ghostbusters, right?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
the town
shit.
square, and also scene from the Offspring video. Why don't you get a job?
Okay.
Nice.
They're actually walking right in front of the courthouse.
Now that's a trilogy I can get behind.
And the town square and everything is also that's the beginning. That's like the town of from Gremlins as well.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay.
a shot from like a different angle, but it's
That's pretty cool.
So
They were used to a lot.
there you go.
Yeah.
Movie
Fun
magic.
facts.
Dang.
Movie magic.
Unless you knew, you wouldn't be any the wiser watching Gremlins. You wouldn't be like, hey, wait a second.
I saw some.
Why is this
I
look
don't-
so familiar?
yeah.
I saw some
I've been
weird
there.
video. This guy went all the way out and figured out where the filming location was for the Western town, and from part 3.
Yeah.
like just out in the middle of a desert, and he's like, "Look, here's like, oh yeah, this is where this building would have been."
Yeah, but
This
it's
is
like
what it-"
blank, right?
It's just like pieces of like what like some staging. It's like, oh, found these
What the fuck?
Yeah, that they
found
left
these
there.
nails and everything. It's like, yep, this is where the saloon would have been. It's something like it burned down like a few years ago.
I literally just watched a short documentary online of Tremors where they filmed perfection, like where
Yep.
perfection took place. And there's the guy, the production assistant or whatever, went out there and he was like, "Oh, here's the hole where we put the worm and it popped out." He's like, "Let's see." He's like, "Well, I don't really want to reach in there now because there might be some other stuff in there." But yeah, they showed it was just all blank desert. They added a couple rocks and stuff, but most of it they all built from scratch. So that's always like crazy how they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I mean, nobody brings up the fact that when Marty's like Hill Valley, it looks like a pretty normal, just like suburban town. But then when it gets to the third one, and all of a sudden he goes into the Old West, it's like he goes from like California. To like fucking Utah or something like that. It's like this does not totally make any sense at all.
I think the biggest travesty is trying to say that a white man created Chuck Berry's signature song to Johnny B. Good.
Right.
And played the guitar.
Oh, no.
Just like ringing a bell.
Who knew that Michael J. Fox could sing so well?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think you just celebrate by
Oh, you gotta
binge
just watch the
watching
movie.
all the movies. Yeah.
And it should be the one movie that should never get remade or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale have both said they have like huge clauses that you can never remake the movie or make a
That's
sequel
good because
unless you have their
it doesn't
permission.
need to be.
They should have made a fourth one after the Western one, but now it's too far gone. Like I meant like closer to when those came out, but now it's like it's too hard.
If they remade it today, but it was like 30 years in the future from now, what do you think it would be like? What do you think they would put in it?
Wait, who like you mean like technology wise?
Yeah, just anything. Like, what do you think the world will look like in 30 years?
In 30 years, I think it's gonna
robots. Lots of robots.
I don't think there's going to be that many robots in 30 years. I think people get ahead of themselves with this.
Still waiting for my flying car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Robots.
It's like the flying cars, like the Jetsons. I think there will be more robotic stuff. Like, I think everybody's like Alexa, like all that kind of shit is just going to be controlling every aspect of almost every house.
And there's already self-driving cars, so I just think that'll be enhanced.
Yeah,
more.
I think there'll be more of that. I'm still like, those things scare me, man.
Like,
I just don't know about like, all right, letting go of the wheel and just being like, just get me there in one piece. I don't know.
I feel like I'd be okay with it, like on the interstate, but not driving
I just don't
around
want to be
here.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. But all right, well, I guess we're gonna make like a tree and get the hell out of here.
But we do have a cake.
Yeah, but
yes.
I gotta say, we do have a cake
Definitely
for this
have a
day,
cake.
and you watch all 3 of the movies.
Definitely, I agree.
All right. Well, thanks, Adam, for joining us again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Back to the future.
And for me and Amber, that's it.
Bye.
And we will see you in the future.
This has been a Seven Lamb production.